Hello and welcome to day 32. Wow, crazy. Time just flies right by. We're on our home stretch here, so to speak. A few more days left. But as I've told you before, let's make these last few days really count. And because I really feel like these last few days are extremely important. Extremely important. Just like a book, you're more likely to remember what happens at the beginning and the end than what happens in the middle. So here we are at the end. So let's really buckle down. Let's really focus on the last few days here, and we'll see a lot of growth and progress, and we'll be a lot more successful next year because of it. So here we go. This is your exit ticket from yesterday, day 31. 915 and 12 hundredths times 3 and 84 hundredths. Okay, so in either strategy, I'm going to do the red first, which was the ones place. 4 times 2, 4 times 1, 4 times 5, 4 times 1, 4 times 9. Now, if you're doing strategy 1, take note, there are 4 decimal places. So my decimal needs to be allowing for 4 decimal places for each of my numbers. If we're doing strategy 2, it depends on if there's even a decimal there. So here you actually have 2 decimal places, only 2. So then your answer is only going to have 2. Here there's 1, 2, 3 decimal places because you're doing 8/10. Therefore there's 3 decimal places here. And then for this one, there's technically 4 decimal places because that 4 is technically 4 hundredths. So you want to make sure you allow for there to be 4 hundredths that you're timesing by. Not just 4, not just 4/10. When you line all these numbers up, you have to really stay focused as to where your decimal is. With this first number, okay, here's my decimal point, and then there's 36 hundredths. For the second green number, here's my decimal point, and then there's 96 thousandths. And for my third answer solution, there's 4 decimal points, but there's my decimal right there, so there's 604,040, 8 ten thousandths. That's a hard number to say. Let me repeat that again. 36 and 604,008 ten thousandths. Okay, so notice, yes, 2 decimal places here, 3 here, 4 here. If it helps you, just place the zeros where there's an empty place value. Keep that in mind. And ultimately, the answer, no matter which strategy you used, should have been 3,514 and 60,000 thousandths, 8 ten thousandths. So there's a lot of possibilities for mistakes here. So really look it over, figure out where your mistake happened if you made a mistake by not getting this as your solution. Hit the pause button if you really need to look over this, because this is going to help you. If you can figure out your mistake now, it's going to truly help you next year. And I want that to be the case. So if you figured out your mistake, or if you didn't make a mistake, let's rock and roll to the next problem. So day 32 is dividing with a whole number divisor and decimal dividend. Okay, so here we go. So we're doing some division with decimals. So for starters, this is the number, it's 2 and 4/10 divided by 8. So I have to find out how many 8s go into 2 4/10. All right? So the trick here is you're going to kind of want to forget about the decimal. First off, put the decimal there. Right? Bring that decimal up. But you're going to want to forget those decimal there. Cover it up. And now ask yourself, how many 8s go into 24? So do your 8 times tables up to 24, and you'll find out it's 3 times. Therefore, it goes in, 8 goes into 2 4/10, 3/10 times. And then you get 3 times 8 equals 24. You subtract, and you get nothing left over. So the key thing you want to remember here, so you don't make this misconception, is put the decimal down first. And secondly, make sure if you're dealing with the 24, the 4 of 24, your number goes above that and doesn't go accidentally above the 2. Because it doesn't make sense when we check ourselves. If we accidentally put the 3 here, does it make sense to say 3 times 8 gives me 2 4/10? No. So that's what you also want to make sure you're checking yourself. Does it make sense now for me to say 3/10 times 8? Well, let's find out. If I have 8 and I times it by 3/10, my answer is going to have one decimal place. 8 times 4 equals 24. There's my check. All right, so here we are with number 2. Go ahead and try to do this on your own. It's 69 hundredths divided by 3. Remember that decimal. Bring it up there. Go ahead and do that now by hitting the pause button. So the answer you should have gotten here was 23 hundredths. Okay, the 3 goes into, well, first off, my decimal came up. Put it there. 3 obviously doesn't go into 0. 3 does go into the 6 here 2 times. 2 times 3 gives you 6. You subtract, you get 0. You bring down your 9 hundredths. 3 goes into 9 hundredths 3 times. 3 times 3 gives you 9. You subtract, you have nothing left over. And here I am over here checking myself. So there's 2 decimal places, 1, 2. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 2 gives me 6, which ultimately gives me what I originally started off with, which was 69 hundredths. Let's move along to number 3. All right, 45 4/10 divided by 2. Go ahead, please hit that pause button and take some time to solve this problem. Okay, so the answer you hopefully received here was 22 7/10. 22 7/10. First step I took was making sure my decimal got right there, brought it right up, and then I said to myself, how many 2's went into 4? 2 of them. 2 times 2 gave me this 4 here. I subtract, I have nothing left over. Then I bring my 5 down. I ask myself, how many 2's went into 5? 2 of them. 2 times 2 gave me 4. I subtracted, I got 1. Then I brought down this 4/10 to give me 14 here. How many 2's go into 14? 7. 7 times 2 gives me 14 with nothing left over. Now I'm going to check myself over here. I notice one place value. 7 times 2 gives me 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 equals 4 plus the 1 equals 5. 2 times 2 equals 4. And that is what I started off with, 45 4/10. Alrighty, let's move on. Hopefully you either A, didn't make a mistake, or B, you found your mistake. If you didn't, don't hesitate to email me, call me. Well, you can't really call me. But email me or hit me up on Google Classroom, and I would love to try to set up a time to work you through these problems if you're still struggling with them. Let's go to our last and final problem. This time we're dealing with some money. So with this problem, we have $34.37 divided by 7, or you could say it is, and sorry for the glare there, that should be a little better, 34 3/37 divided by 7. Okay, this is what it originally looked like, so I set it up like this. Now it's your turn to hit the pause button and solve to find out how many 7s will go into 34 3/37. Okay, for this one, I received the answer of 4 91/100. Hopefully you did too. If not, let's figure out why. So 7 goes into 34 4 times. Did my 7 times tables here to help me make sure I didn't make a multiplication mistake anywhere with my 7 times tables. 7 times 4 gave me 28. That 28 right there, which means 7 goes into 34 4 times. Okay, I subtract, I get 6. I bring down my 3/10. So now 7 goes into 63 how many times? Right here, it says 9 times. So put that 9 in the tens place. I put it there because I didn't forget my decimal here. That was the key there. Got to make sure that decimal arrives, either before or after at some point. 9 times 7 gave me exactly 63, like it says over here. I subtract, I get 0. I bring down my 7/100. 7 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 7 gives you exactly 7 with nothing left over. So my answer is 4 91/100. When I check it, I'm going to make sure my solution has 2 decimal places. 1 times 7 gives you 7. 7 times 9 gives you 63. Carry the 6. And then 7 times 4 equals 28 plus 6 gives you 34, which is exactly what I started off with, 34 3/37. When you're checking yourself, you'll know right off the bat if you made a mistake. If you made a decimal error, meaning you put the decimal in the wrong place. If you try doing 491 times 7, you're going to get a whole lot bigger number than this. Okay? Or if you accidentally put the decimal there. 49 times and 1/10 times 7. You're going to end up getting 343 7/10. Okay? If you accidentally put the decimal here, you'll get 3 437 thousandths. 3 437 thousandths. So it is very important to always check yourself, because when you check yourself, you'll notice, hey, I have 2 decimal places here, I should have 2 decimal places here. If you put the decimal over here, you have 1 decimal place, then your answer is going to have 1 decimal place, which is not right, because this answer here, what I started off with, had 2 decimal places. So you want to look for those commonalities, okay? This answer has 2 decimal places, or should have 2 decimal places, so because this one has 2 decimal places. All right, so now feel free to either practice some, have somebody check them at home, or move along to the exit ticket. Make sure you've recorded these 4 answers so you have them ready for the Google form for your first 4 problems. Best of luck, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.